Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Business Lawyer Said. If you're watching this live, thank you for watching it. If you are watching one of the replays on one of the platforms, YouTube, IG, podcast, wherever, thank you so much for listening and supporting this show. So this week is episode 15, and I got some questions, and I just drew from a common theme. I saw about 2 to 3 of them with this, so I try to group it all together. So this week's question is, what are some key things that should be inside of a contract? And I think that this touches on a lot of aspects of young entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, or people who are entering the business space. You may have an idea of, okay, I need a contract, but I'm not exactly sure what are some things that should be in it. What could I take out? In my opinion, nothing. They're all valuable, but that's just the lawyer in me. But let's get into it. So again, welcome to this week's edition of the Business Lawyer Said. This is episode 15, and this is a series where I answer your questions about business and other business strategies. If you are just tuning in for the first time, my name is Nikwosha, and I am a business lawyer that assists small businesses with their legal needs from formation and beyond with my law firm entitled Anderson Law FL. Ooh, child, I don't even know my name. Anderson Law Firm PLLC. They make me put all them acronyms. If you want a question answered, be sure to drop it in the question box, comment box, however you want to get it to me. You can DM me. The email address is info@andersonlawfl.com. And your question will be logged for a future episode. I am collecting them and I have a good list going. So I just kind of drag from what people send. So again, the question this week is, what are some key strategies that should be inside of a contract? So as I briefly talked about in the beginning, contracts are essential to business. You need to have a written contract in place for good things, and depending on where you are located, it may be required, and depending on what service or goods you're offering, it also may be required under the UCC. That's the Unified Commercial Code. So you may be required to have it in writing, so just be careful and consult with the lawyer in your area. Now, we know that oftentimes deals are made without just a handshake and vapors, and that's about it. Oh, we got an agreement where he gonna give me 38% of his company. Oh, you do? Where is it written down? Oh, well, she owed me $1,500. I loaned her. You do? Where is it written down? I know, like you know, that if we were in school and we got to watch TV throughout the day, those judge shows, people used to go on there all the time talking about they didn't pay this rent, they didn't pay this back, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. And even if it was for entertainment value, the judges on those shows, or fake judges, whatever, did ask for a written contract. So that just goes to show you, even in the minutia of your life, having a written agreement is so important. So, Nikwosha, what are some things that need to be in a contract? I don't know. Let's get into it. Let me answer it. So typically how I structure this show is I give you 3 questions that you should consider. But in light of it being contract related, and sometimes I just need to go a little bit more in depth. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to give you not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 questions to consider. So since I have 5 questions to consider, let's go ahead and get started because I don't want this to be too long. So question number 1 you should consider is, when will the contract end and when will it begin? The contract needs to have clear terms of beginning and ending. This is so important, as you don't want to be confused on when you should start and when you should end. So that's number 1. Number 2, how will you get paid? You need to establish the payment terms, whether it's a quick loan agreement, you gave your home at $1,500, or your business is contracting to do some services for $20,000, $10,000, $5,000, $2,500, whatever. How are you going to get the money? You don't want to be like ODB out here saying, hey, dirty, baby, I got your money. No, I need it. I don't need all that. Just give it to me. So outline how you're going to get paid. That's number 2. Number 3, what am I supposed to provide? Okay, so let's get into this. What services, what goods are you giving these people? Are you selling them a pipe dream? Are you selling pipe oil around here? What you doing? Let's define it in the contract. Sometimes this is known as deliverables. So just think about, what are you providing, when you're supposed to provide it, how you going to get paid. So that's some questions, a recap of questions 1, 2, and 3. You see how I did that? Like I did that? Me too. Now, number 4, who is the point of contact? Who are you contracting with? Oftentimes I'll see agreements where y'all don't even have addresses. Y'all don't even know who you talking to, who you dealing with, let alone how they gonna pay you. So have a point of contract. We are now in the land of this pandemic season, and it is not going anywhere anytime soon. So you need to make sure you have a good point of contact for who you're dealing business with. Let's say you can't deliver. Let's say they got to cancel. Let's say you had a pipe burst. Let's say you had a flat tire on your way to don't do what you said you was going to do. Who you calling? Do you have their contact information? That's question number 4. And lastly, but not least, is question number 5 to consider. And this is kind of important, so listen up if you haven't been already. Question number 5, let me repeat, let me give you a little bit more time. Question number 5 is, what happens in the event of a dispute? Let me repeat. What happens in the event of a dispute? Let's say you and this person are not getting along and you don't like each other. They don't like you. They didn't pay you. They didn't give you what they said they was going to give you. What do? If you have a contract that doesn't outline these terms, you are already behind the 8 ball, friend. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you this, but you are. So you need to know, and you need to have in clear terms in a contract what happens in the event of a dispute. So what does that look like? Where do you file if you have to go to litigation? Where do you send your demand letter? Remember that contact information we was talking about for question 4? This is all, it all comes together. It's like a soup. You got to put all the ingredients in there for it to all come together. So let's just briefly recap for you to put it all together for this soup we building. Contract soup. We're going to call it contract soup. The first ingredient in question number 1 you should consider is when the contract will begin and end. The second ingredient that you should consider on question number 2 you should ask yourself is, how will my business get paid? Is it going to be a money order? Will it be certified funds, cash, check, whatever? Figure that out. Ingredient number 3, or question number 3 you should consider is what exactly you're supposed to be giving these people and when you're supposed to be giving it to. And what are they supposed to be giving to you? And when are they supposed to give that to you? That's question number 3, or ingredient number 3. Number 4, who is your point of contact? Who are you giving the information to? In the event of emergency, do you know who you're supposed to contact? Do you have emergency contact numbers for your business? These are all things to consider. And question number 5, the lastly, is what is to happen in the event of a dispute? What should you do? Where are you going? Do you give them an opportunity to cure? That's what we call it. In legal terms, to cure means correct the deficiency, correct the breach before you elevate to, I'm going to sue you, I'm going to sue them. All right. So I know that was a lot. And if you have more questions about what I talked about, feel free to find me on one of these platforms on Al Gore's internets. All right. So with that being said, this will conclude this week's episode of The Business Lawyer Said. And if you have a question that you want me to answer in a future episode, please be sure to send it to me for consideration. And if you find this episode valuable, helpful in any way, the best compliment you can give me is by sharing it with someone else. Thank you. Anyway, hope you are having or will have a great week. We will be back next week. Until next time.